Hello everyone, welcome to the final installment of the Ukraine series. We have B-type here, and I want to say a few things before we get started. So after this video, I'm going to do a bonus one, basically having all the different Ukraine highways that we've learned in the series, and there's just going to be challenge links. Like I'm going to record me playing them, and then you guys can play along as well with the challenges. Hopefully, you'll learn something from that as well, just to get some additional practice in. Um, this can all be kind of overwhelming, like an overwhelming amount of roads. And unfortunately, we do have 22 roads for the day. But just take your time with it. Just learn it as you want to, and yeah, we'll get through it. And so for B type, we actually have three types of antennas, and it actually helps you get the road and also region guess at the same time, which is pretty nice. And I'll show you all of these right here. So the first antenna we have is just the normal B type, and as you can see, the ridge is on the left right here. A type is on the right, B type is on the left. You'll see it looks like a normal B-type antenna. There's nothing on the top part of this antenna here, nothing there. If there is something there, then we have to talk about that in sections. So this normal B-type antenna, where is it? Well, just think of max west here. So you guys see all the roads that are essentially here and to the left. All of this stuff in like the Lviv and Lutsk, Kovel, all of this is normal B-type. And also these two roads right here, we see them south of Uman. And there's also some south of Vinnytsia that are not in this video. So essentially, if you see normal B-type, you're clicking here or you're clicking here. And we'll learn how to differentiate these sections in this video. And then everything else here is generally B-cocaine. So what the hell is B-cocaine? Well, I'll show you right now. So B-cocaine is when you have a speck of cocaine on the antenna. And no, I'm not joking. As you can see right there, there's kind of like a white dot. It's sort of near the top right, but it's not quite at the tip of the top right. It's just like right below that. You can see a little white speck there, and that is the cocaine that we need, the cocaine that we want even. But anyway, that is going to be basically almost everything, but it's really common, like I'd say east, and then there's like 3 main highways over here that have it as well. And then the last antenna type that we have here is the northeast antenna, also called the Dimnis antenna. And that's because the Ukraine player Dimnis actually discovered this meta. Shout out to them. But yeah, we'll see it right here. And you can see that there's a kind of a white part at the top left that is like, it's almost like the antenna was chipped off. And on this road, it can be kind of hard to see sometimes. So let's actually look at this road where it's much more clear. Take a look here. And you can see there's a giant white part of the antenna at the top left. And maybe it's, hard to see this cocaine and Dimnis stuff at first, but when you start practicing it, it becomes a lot more clear. And this is probably the best example lock, to be honest. Yeah, there we go. I mean, that's very clear right there. If you're lucky, you'll just get it to be that clear every time, but not everything is ideal. But anyways, let's start with the normal B-type antenna, and let's start with the Ratny Road, aka the north of Kovel Road. So this road is often like very little clouds, sometimes no clouds, like this lock even. And it kind of looks like Kovel, right? If you remember from A-type, we had these roads that were dark but had outer lines, and that was pretty indicative of like south of Kovel, right? Well, in this we have the same thing. It's dark road, outer lines. We have no clouds, just like the A-type stuff. But of course this is, I did not mean to move that there. Of course this is B-type and not A-type, right? And the further north we go on this road, we'll actually start to see small clouds north of the driving direction, which is actually funny, right? Because north clouds equals north on this highway. So you now know how to region guess the Ratny Road. Isn't that amazing? All right, and after that we have the west of Kovel Road. So this one is partly cloudy, May coverage, and as you can see, we have these beautiful Kovel roads as described in the previous one. And this is driving east. And yeah, it's just normal B-type, and with this landscape and stuff, you can pretty easily cook it. Some interesting stuff is that on the border here, the border with Poland, you can actually see a lot more cars, and it just has a distinct vibe to it. I'm not really sure why, but there's usually more traffic, more cars, and oh, it becomes divided as well. I mean, that's that's the biggest thing probably, is that it becomes divided near the border, which is pretty nice. And oftentimes you can even find it driving west, which is interesting, like the car driving west. So yeah, it's another interesting thing here. But yeah, that's going to be the west of Kovel Road. All right, now we have the east of Kovel Road. So this one's also driving east along a basically May coverage, partly cloudy Kovel Road. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I can't really find the difference between like this section and like this section here. I guess you just have to scan all of it probably. However, there is a section that drives south of Okonsk basically. And this section, obviously, it drives south. And it's much less of a main road, right? Like, look at this road. This road is not really a Kovel road. It looks a lot worse, looks a lot smaller. But it has the same types of features, right? It's May coverage, it's partly cloudy. It just drives south is the main difference. And yeah, if you see that kind of stuff, you'll be able to cook this road when you see it. All right, now we have the H17, which in my honest opinion might be one of the easiest roads in the game. So why do I believe this is the freest road in Ukraine? Well, as a general rule, if you are in some kind of urban coverage that you don't know, and you see normal B-type antenna, you should probably just click Lviv. Well, this is very close to Lviv, and it's very cloudy, drives northeast, and has a pretty terrible, kind of dark-looking road, and it generally has kind of an urban look to it, you could say. And so that already kind of makes it free, right? But what if I told you there are actually 2 smudges on this road, and the smudges even help you region guess where you are along the road? Well, in the south part here, you don't really get any smudges. But once you start going further north, look at this. There's some kind of rectangular blur, not really a smudge, I guess, but it's a blur. It's a rectangle. And this starts kind of like in the middle of the highway and kind of goes north. And then in the far north parts, we actually also have this smudge right here. So you can literally use these to region guess the road, and it's already a free road as well. So absolutely beautiful. H17, Road to Lutsk. Absolutely cookable. All right, next we have the E40. So the E40 basically drives west to Lviv, and so does the H02 actually, which we'll get to in a second. So this road, it's a very main road, and it's partly cloudy, very May coverage look. Like as you can see, just by how green the grass is and stuff like that, you could just tell that it's May coverage. Probably looks more May than most roads in Ukraine. But yeah, it's driving west on a pretty nice road, pretty main road, and I think there are weird sections of it that turn divided if I'm not wrong. Yeah, like this one. That's kind of annoying, to be honest. Okay, this one just looks like a part of a main road. But yeah, generally speaking, if you see all that kind of stuff, you're good to go. Now for the HO2, I can't find many differences between this road and, the previous road we just talked about. It's June coverage, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's many times where this road looks like May coverage. And it's partly cloudy as well. I'd say the main difference is that the road is just smaller and like worse. It's not a main road. It's just much smaller, and that's really all I have to say about it. But as you can see, there are locks like this where like you can see yellow flowers and stuff, and it kind of looks like May coverage. Maybe it was taken in really early June, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't use the season here. I'd use the road. If it looks smaller, go the HO2. If it looks, bigger, maybe try the E40. All right, now we have the Southwest here, and basically I just wanted to say there are 2 main things that you click with B-type. So if you're on a main road, click Skolivsky Beskidi National Park. And I apologize for the pronunciation of that. But as you can see, it's a main road here, and it's just going straight through the mountains, basically. B-type, obviously. And that's all I really have to say. It's driving south, as like most of these kind of roads are. I feel like in every type they drive south for some reason. So yeah, you're either going to click this national park or the road that goes, down to Mukachevo, or you're going to click west of Chernivtsi. And we'll get into that here. This road, as I said, is not a main road. That's the difference, right? This is a terrible road, not a main road. And I'm also going to highlight Chernivtsi clouds. They're very swirly, very just artsy looking, right? And this car usually drives east on this road. I say usually because at the max east part, I think they drive west for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why, and it has no clouds here for some reason, but very troll lock. And as you can see, the furthest west portions actually have no pavement on the road at all. So you can actually region guess it slightly based on the quality of the road. It gets better as it goes east, generally speaking. All right, guys, we're almost done with the normal B-type antenna here. Let's get on to this southern cluster here. So you guys heard me mention that you can go south of Vinnytsia or south of Uman, and that's true if you have this smudge, this beautiful, beautiful smudge that we have right. No, it's not on that lock. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you don't see it, if I'm being honest with you guys. Sometimes you do not see it, but most of the time you will see a smudge to the southeast of the driving direction right here. Look at that beautiful, beautiful smudge. And this is the southern smudge, and I'd say all these roads look pretty dirty and terrible usually, and I find it's usually a lot of overcast coverage as well. So yeah, you could basically cook with that. This road specifically has these kind of almost swirly-ish clouds a little bit. It's a little bit more overcast than some of the other swirly clouds we've had, like Chernovitzy. And it drives east, and I think there are a lot of parts that are also just really cloudy. Like this part just looks really, really cloudy, right? So you can basically cook that with those features. Next, we have the P71, which the P71 is also quite cloudy, and it's on a terrible, like dirty looking road. And obviously we have the southern smudge, if you can see it. I actually kind of can't here, which is concerning, but I swear it's usually there, guys, I swear. There are parts of this road that are literally just like a dirt road, like look at this one. Like you don't really need the smudge here to get this road. It's driving southwest, and it is just a dirt road. So yeah, it's basically all you need for a lot of this is just literally just knowing what the road looks like and driving southwest, and that's usually all it's going to take for you to get the road. Look at that, we do have the smudge there, very lovely. Alright guys, now we're going to be going to our favorite antenna type, the B cocaine antenna. Let's take a look at that right now. First starting off with the Choristen road. If you guys remember what Choristen looked like in A-type, you're going to not be surprised to see that it looks basically the exact same. It's very cloudy. We have the Choristen pavement, which is just this. However, this is west of Choristen and not east of it, which is basically the difference. And you'll know that just because it's B-type, right? You don't even need to know that there's cocaine on this specific road because it's just pretty free anyway. But it is B cocaine technically. And yeah, it's just driving southeast towards Choristen, and it goes all the way to Sarny, so it's a little bit of a pain to region guess, to be honest. Next we have the PO2. Now the PO2, I'd say the landscape is very forested. It's very sandy oftentimes. Although it seems like the locks I picked are not sandy, which is probably good for a 50-50 we're going to talk about anyway pretty soon here. But I'd basically say it's partly cloudy. Often has pretty swirly clouds even. And we're just driving southeast. So as you guys can see here, swirly clouds. B cocaine driving southeast. Very forested, very northern looking, right, with these pines. And yeah, it's on a pretty main road as well. And there's not too much you can confuse it with the clouds and just the way it looks and everything. But as you will see in a second here, there is one thing you can confuse it with, unfortunately. All right, so the next road is the HO1, and this is the road you can kind of confuse with the PO2, although only one portion of it, guys, only one portion. The top part of the HO1, unfortunately, looks a decent amount like the PO2. We have kind of swirly clouds. It's driving southeast, kind of a main road. And I honestly don't really have anything. I would just say, if it looks sandy, go the PO2. If it looks maybe more dirty and not sandy, maybe try this road. I'd also say out of both, this road looks a little bit better. So that's all I got really. But luckily, most of the HO1 does not look like this. It actually is very cloudy oftentimes. Look at this. So as you guys can see here, very, very overcast, driving southeast. And this continues all the way to Kremenchuk. So it starts going north again, right? You can cook it based off road angle. It starts going north again, and then it goes north into Poltava. So just think of Kremenchuk as kind of the inflection point. Well, maybe Alexandria if you want driving direction kind of perspective, right? So it's going to go southeast to Alexandria, and then it's going to go all the way to Poltava. So, and it's going to look like that pretty much the whole way. So very cookable highway there. Really, it's better time than any to talk about the blurred antenna roads. So there's two that I highlighted here because they're not too hard. This first one is the HO7, and it's driving east away from Kiev. And it has no clouds, which is nice. And also just like, I don't know, it kind of looks like the Kiev area. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, and as you can see, the antenna is slightly blurred. It can be hard to tell sometimes, but usually you can tell that it's blurred. And if it's like this, then yeah, you just go this road. And oftentimes the blurred antenna is near this river and like near here, basically. So you can kind of cook it if you don't know the road a little bit. And the second road here looks very different. very typical southeastern landscape. We have a lot of dirt. It's very dry, partly clouds or partly cloudy. I swear partly cloudy is like a southeastern thing, at least for the Ukraine coverage that we have. I don't know why. Um, Very silly meta there, um, but yeah, as you can see, the antenna is quite blurred here as well. And yeah, it's driving southwest, so should be a pretty free road. I've been told this is the freest road in Ukraine. I didn't even know about this until a few weeks ago, I think, so pretty crazy. But yeah, pretty cookable, southwest of Nikopol. All right, and we're going to go back to the B cocaine type antennas here. So we have the E105, which goes all the way from Melitopol to, man, I think it goes like really, really far, honestly. Um, I would stop it like here. I think this type of coverage at least stops like right here before these two roads merge, the M18 and the E105. So basically the furthest north coverage for some reason is a divided highway. And then most of the road just looks like this, right? Very southeastern looking. No, can range from like no clouds to partly cloudy. And then as you can see right here, it actually drives south the whole way through, and it's a decently main road, right? Looks a bit terrible, but it's mostly a main road. And I think this part has like, more clouds, I guess. I thought it was no clouds, honestly, but okay. But yeah, I don't know why this road's cookable, but it is, and it's important because it's kind of a big highway, so yeah, just get a vibe for that one, I guess. And now we have the northeast of Dnipro Road, and this is actually 3 different roads, but I decided to include them together because they're kind of like the same coverage, essentially. So this part right here, this E50 or whatever, is a divided highway, and this is really good to know. Like, this is so cookable. It has barely any clouds. It's this kind of like slant basically right there. And I'm saying slant because there is no definitive driving direction. Like, you can go over here and it's the other way, right? But basically just saying look out for that road angle and the no clouds, and you can cook this part pretty easily. This part, it all drives southeast and then south basically, and no clouds is also the key here again. So B cocaine with no clouds, very lovely. You can just cook the northeast of Dnipro roads. Guys, I should also mention, I forget which road, like I always click like something over here instead of like something over here. And you just need to make a box in your mind of the P79, the P51, and then this divided highway here. Just create a box in your head and you'll just get it every time. But I still blunder it sometimes, so I'm not gonna lie. All right, and then we got 2 roads over here. So this is southwest of Kharkiv. We have a divided highway here, and this one's important to know for sure. So this one, you can see it's partly cloudy, divided highway, and it's going kind of like southwest road angle, although it drives both ways, obviously. So yeah, a little unfortunate there, as you can see. Huh, it's a smudge. That's interesting. But yeah, this road, I'm not really sure why it's cookable. It just kind of like looks like Kharkiv, like it's kind of hilly and can be kind of open or forested, partly cloudy, divided highway. It's, yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. It's just a divided highway that looks eastern. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful for that road. For this road, we have the M18. And admittedly, this is pretty similar to the northeast of Dnipro road because it has no clouds and it's driving southwest. I don't have too much to say about it, honestly. But it is a lot greener, I'd say. Like, it's a lot less dry looking, which is pretty huge. And I'd say this road looks better overall. So that would be basically the things I have to say for that. But I don't have too much to say about it overall. It's not the most interesting road in the world. All right, guys, and if you've made it this far, this is the last 2 roads of the entire series. And I will be doing a bonus episode where I, make some challenge links and you can basically play along with me, and I'll record my perspective. Obviously, you guys can do the challenge links yourself and then see what you got, what you missed, and hopefully learn from it. All right, but we got the chipped antenna roads, which are pretty free. Remember I told you to click northeast on the chipped antenna? Well, do that except for this road, because the south of Lubny road, aka the M03, it goes from Lubny to Dnipro, and Dnipro is quite far south, right? So you don't want to be losing points on that. So if we look at this road, it's a very good road, very main road, driving south, generally speaking, southeast, and it has no clouds. Isn't that beautiful? So if you see basically the chipped antenna right here, as you can see right there, and it's driving southeast, then you can cook the Dnipro road when it has no clouds. This northern part, however, sometimes does have clouds, unfortunately. As you can see, there's a bit of clouds here. There's a bit more clouds here even, which is really unfortunate, but that's how it is. If you're driving north with this kind of road, then you're going to want to click west of Lubny, or southwest of Lubny. Also, I think I'm mispronouncing that, I just realized, but I don't know how to pronounce it honestly, so I'm sorry. But yeah, Lubny, we'll call it Americanized version. Hey, also I forgot to record this road for some reason, but we're gonna basically go back to the west. There is a road with a leaf on the car, so it's right here. Very simple actually. If you see this leaf, you should be near Ternopil, specifically the like northwest parts. So this part of the P39, for example, which is driving south. Yeah, it's driving southeast. And then there's part of the HO2 as well, which is driving west. So yeah, luckily these are very cookable. So yeah, leaf, you just click northwest of Ternopil. All right, guys, and the last road we have, I think we started in Chernihiv with Chernihiv clouds. Now we're ending with the Chernihiv Northeast Highway, the P12. So sometimes you can't even see that it's chipped here, but sometimes you could just know the road based off the road angle. This is oftentimes driving northeast and partly cloudy. And I don't know, it just kind of looks like this area to me. Yeah, I'm not really sure why. It just kind of looks distinct to me. It's often very forested and yeah, just partly cloudy. I don't think there's that many roads that drive east with the chipped antenna. I'm trying to think about how accurate that is. But I think a lot of them drive like north or west. So driving east is a little bit suspect, especially when it's such a main road. And yeah, one interesting thing is the north part of this, the max north part, it usually has lavender, but even more interestingly, it actually drives south. So I don't know why, but this part drives south specifically. Not sure why. Has barely any clouds up here as well, so pretty learnable section of this road, but not the most, you know, you're probably never going to get this in a game, although I have actually gotten it in a duels game and I did not get it. Very sad. But yeah, guys, that'll actually conclude the Ukraine series. And as I said, I'm going to be doing one bonus episode just to help you guys practice. And I want to practice myself as well, right? But yeah, it's definitely a lot of work getting the series through. So if you liked it, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I do have one more thing to mention. There are a lot of intricate details about Ukraine metas that I have not gone over. I have not gone over like pixels. There are different types of antennas that you can even getting the pixels. If you're interested in learning this, I'm going to leave Fellaine's doc in the description below. Fellaine is like one of the best Ukraine players probably in the world. I mean, he's probably easily top 3. We actually faced a little bit, and I think I beat him maybe twice, and most of the time it wasn't even close. Most of the time he completely destroyed me. So yeah, he could basically 5k everything, so you should definitely read his doc, and maybe you can 5k everything as well. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.